High five clapper. So,
that should be our thing.
the high five clap sync. So, welcome to the show, to our viewer. I don't even know if we're gonna put up the
We have a viewer.
YouTube. Well, I guess
Stray cat.
we count as listeners.
Yeah, because most likely our parents.
Yeah. So,
Even as much as I don't want them to see this.
well, it'll be a pretty PG-13 show, I would think.
No, it won't.
So, I'm Chris.
I am Jeremy.
This is our podcast number 1, ShutterCount podcast.
0.01.
No, I think this will be 1 because we had 0.05 in the car when we went to get the Zoom recorder that we are using right now. What's this show going to be about? So it's going to be a bit gear talk, a bit photography talk. We should probably introduce ourselves first. I'm Chris. I'm a photographer. I do weddings. I also do retouching. Jeremy, tell us what you do.
My name's Jeremy. I am a professional automotive photographer, I guess. But I have done pretty much everything from shooting weddings for about 4 years, real estate for about 3 years. But my main jam is shooting cars. I'm also a media director for a racing series, and yeah.
And you took a lot more time than I did to introduce yourself, but that's fine.
Well, I've been doing it for longer.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm really loud, so bear with the levels here. We're gonna have to. It's our first show.
It is.
There will also probably be music in the background.
At some point.
So yeah, why did we start this show? Well, what's our goal of this show? I guess we can ask ourselves first.
To hang out more.
To hang out more, to talk. I mean, we always kind of get together and talk about gear and work and
talk shop
stuff. And I think we have some pretty good banter. And we've wanted to do kind of a show for a while.
Well, even just some sort of project for a while. So
yeah. And so that's kind of what brings us here now. We're both very busy, obviously. And I think the podcast format is, kind of
quicker and dirtier.
Yeah, quick. I mean, we have the video going. We don't even know if we're going to put it up.
But it could be cool for some beatus.
Some what?
Beatus.
Some what?
ETS, behind the scenes.
Oh, behind the scenes.
I call it beatus.
So I just realized now, looking down at the Zoom, that we have a timer with that. So we don't have to time it.
Good, exciting start it.
Excellent. So yeah, we have, we're going to try and keep it under half an hour and just talk about kind of, what we did in the week, what we did in the weekend.
Yep. The miscellaneous things that we've, encountered within our work week, and or gear that we purchased or thinking about buying, and, miscellaneous fun things.
Pretty much it. I just keep looking down at the levels because I just want to make sure I'm not too loud and you're not too silent. But yeah. So, we, we're going to talk gear. We're going to talk photography. Pretty much everything. Jeremy's going to take out his iPad.
Right, gotta check Facebook.
So, let's, what'd you do? How was your week? How was your weekend? What'd you do this weekend?
Last weekend was the SCP car show, and hold on, I'm trying to get situated. Here, you play with my Steadicam. Feel free to level it for you.
Weird. So this is an audio show, so we're gonna have to be audible. So Jeremy's on his iPad.
Yeah, hold on.
Trying to find something.
It'll be worth it.
Luckily, I'll be able to cut a lot of this stuff out. Yeah, we'll have to put that. We'll have to plug that into the Zoom so that we can hear it.
It's okay.
Air horn. That's ridiculous.
And for when it's not PG, it's a bleep.
Yeah, we'll have to look into all of that stuff with. Yeah, I don't know if people can hear that.
It doesn't matter. We can.
So,
yeah, SCP. It was the return of the SCP car show.
so what is SCP? Because we may have a listener in.
Sports Compact Performance, I believe. I could be totally wrong. But it's a car show that has basically been on hiatus for, I believe, 7-8 years.
How many did they do before that, though?
I think 8 or 9.
Really? That many?
Yeah.
I thought it was just one. It's back.
It's back. No, 8 or 9. Probably should inform myself more before doing this, but anyways, yeah,
They had a bunch
they had a bunch, and then they used to be held at the Olympic Stadium, and they were huge. They were the car show to go to, and yeah, obviously with the times changing, the show ended up being basically stopped. Besides the fact that the Olympic Stadium kept crumbling in on itself. So with 2016, they brought it back, not at the Olympic Stadium, at Place Forzani in Laval, which made it interesting because it gave them the chance to actually have an outdoor show. And yeah,
So part of it was outdoor?
yeah, part of it outdoor. So they had a drifting demo, which, long story short, didn't work out so well because it seems like Place Forzani didn't bother to Google.
Drifting?
Yes. So when we had the first demo and then they realized that it left tire marks on the ground, they basically, told the organizer that, hey, you can't do that because it leaves tire marks on the ground. It's like, well, yeah, you gave us the okay for a drifting demo.
They had a problem with tire marks
Yeah.
on the parking lot
Yeah.
ground?
But they okayed it and then they didn't realize what they okayed.
Wow. Okay, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
But yeah, the show was good. Sadly, not as many spectators as, would have wanted to show up. But I had a great time. I forgot how long it is to shoot a show like that. I was the official SCP photographer. You were going to say?
No,
No?
go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was the official SCP photographer. So my duty was I showed up on the Friday and got some shots of the roll-in. Cars setting up, the booths getting set up, and then...
Because that's the trick, eh? Because, once the show is getting going, you can't get any shots of the cars, right? Like, there's just too many people.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's exactly that. So that way, then on the Saturday, the show actually started at 11, but I showed up at 8 in the morning and shot every booth, shot every car, and basically got that all done. So that way, when the doors did open, I had all my shots of all the cars.
Okay.
And yeah, and again, we had to get shots of all the usual corporate shots, like of the banners for sponsors and of this crowd coming in. And yeah, it was, I got that done. And then, yeah, then it was just freaking the whole rest of the weekend of just trying to get some different shots and,
What'd you shoot with?
what did I shoot with? Oh, I shot with my D750 with a 28-70-2.8 lens and my D700 with a 7200 lens.
So no Olympus.
Actually, I did shoot with the Olympus on the Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, the Olympus would have did the job fine on the weekend, but being the official photographer, it's always sometimes better to look more the part of the official guy when you're trying to get into places that other photographers aren't allowed. Even though I had an official pass and shirt and stuff like that, I mean, it's still better to look more pro than the dink next to you. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it was and it was. I got a bunch of photos, and I guess I'll mention this is that one really cool thing is during the award ceremony.
So yeah, I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
that. What was that about? So you won the...
Well, I'll sort of explain. The trophy award started out as what was called the Quebec Cup, and that was basically how to explain it, sort of like almost a Stanley Cup type of thing of car shows. Back in the day when SCP was huge, there was also tons of other car shows, and from what I believe is that the Quebec Cup was the trophy given at the end of the season to the car that accumulated the most points at all these different car shows. So like at every different car show, like no matter if you, let's say you won, but you get all these points. So the Quebec Cup was sort of like it's the like if you, let's say, placed third at every event, well, technically, but compared to other guys who maybe only placed one and then nothing, you know, you accumulate more points, and then so you were awarded this trophy. Okay. Since now in the new age, there's not many car shows that actually do this whole point system. They decided to rename the award. And this actually was very sort of sentimental to me because they renamed the award the Jimmy Rotondo Award, who is one of my good friends who passed away basically a month and a bit ago in a trucking accident. So that was sort of cool, first of all, that they basically did it in his honor. Mm-hmm. And then they were going to they start talking about what the award represented now, the sort of the new... not guidelines, but sort of...
So it's not necessarily the award isn't for cars anymore.
Not necessarily. Now it has to do with somebody or even a shop. Basically, it's either like a shop, a organization, let's say, a person, something in the car community, somebody in the car community or a organization in the car community that has either affected it or basically, you know, for the better... I don't know. Yeah. I don't really have
improved the...
Yeah. You know, who are like, has done a lot of stuff for the car community. Okay. And what's sort of funny is that while Ben Wu, who's the organizer of the SCP, was sort of talking about this and saying, oh, you know, this is what the new award is going to be basically based off of and this and that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sort of saw him glance at me a little bit, and I sort of was like, this is
so
weird.
No idea.
I had absolutely no idea. And he even actually mentioned that, saying, oh, you know, the person who won this, you know, doesn't even, or who's winning this doesn't even know, and blah, 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 blah. I actually even have a clip that we can maybe use to throw in after, exactly of that. And yeah, long story short, I was basically waiting, you know, to shoot the winner, right? And Ben calls my name, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. Actually, sorry, before that, I sort of had a hinkering that it was actually me because my buddy Jordan Hamley, who was the official videographer of the event, I noticed that he turned his camera on me, or at least in my direction.
So someone told him.
Yeah, obviously to get my reaction. So I was like, this can't, you know. Yeah, most likely. And then he called my name, so it was really cool. And then again, it was also very cool because I was presented the award from Jimmy's girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So that was nice. And yeah, it was cool to get recognized. Because yeah, I do. I guess I try to help. I do. Right. But I try to do a lot. Obviously, I have done a lot in this scene.
Yeah. Well, yeah. For those of you who don't know Jeremy,
you can Google me.
Yeah, you could Google him. We'll get to the plugs later, but you know, Jeremy's at pretty much every car event in the Greater Montreal / Quebec City. Maybe less Quebec City area, but I mean, when there's events there. But exactly. He's everywhere. So and
people say I'm like Visa.
Yeah, he's everywhere you want to be. Is that the slogan?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
But yeah, so he's kind of the furniture, so to speak, of the
I'm
Montreal automotive scene.
Basically almost every night of the week or every weekend of the week, at least I'm definitely someplace.
So that's cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So and then of course I actually forgot the award at the place because I didn't realize that I was
forgot it at the bar with
the
strippers.
No, I didn't realize I could take it home because it's sort of one of those awards that you basically get your name, you know, engraved onto it, and then that's it. And I thought that was it, and I got a call that night. It's like, hey, how come you left the award here? I was like, oh, I didn't know. So, anyways, I'm gonna be getting it back. They're gonna put my name on it, and I'll get to keep it, and I'll bring it to Tim Hortons and stuff, and tell them to fill it up.
Fill it up with coffee. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. So what about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I had a wedding.
Ooh la la! Where was that?
Where was it? It was a little bit everywhere, and that's so the prep was in Roxborough.
Oh.
Bride prep was in Roxborough, and then we headed over to there's a church, I forget the name. It's on Lacadie Boulevard. And then we had the portrait session in the Old Port.
That's nice. That's always interesting.
Yeah, always tough to do when
you have street fights with other photographers.
Well, it's tough to do when you're when you're in Ville Saint Laurent, you have to go to the old port.
Yeah, and park and all this
Luckily,
other
it's
stuff.
the end of April. It was the 23rd. So luckily, it's not as crazy in the old port or on the roads in general right now because it's not really tourist season. For those of you who don't know, Montreal Old Port just gets insane in the summer with tourists and
especially with Montreal construction traffic and
and they're tearing apart
every road everywhere.
Every road everywhere, but literally like almost all of Saint Paul is going to be like dug up. So anyways, but it was fine. And then the reception was in Laval. So it was a little bit all over the place.
That is everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of driving, like 100 kilometers of driving.
Yeah.
And but it was good. It was super smooth wedding. Really nice couple. Couldn't ask for a better. Sweet. They're going to be the ones to beat this year.
Oh, very cool.
You know, it's he's a doctor. She's a medical secretary.
Nice.
So no, it was a lot of fun.
What did you shoot with?
I shot with my D4s. D4s, 35 on one, 85 on the other, and I've been using my 24-120 f4 for portraits.
Mm-hmm. I like that
just
because
it's easier. The compression's nice, and it's when you're in the old port, there's a lot of options.
Yep.
But you have to kind of work fast.
Yeah.
We had a lot of time to work, but you still gotta. So it's nice to not have to like change lenses. And it's f4, but you have the compression to kind of kill.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mention that because I have that lens also that I use quite often for my motorsports work because it has a nice overlap when I'm shooting with my 7200. So I don't get basically a stoppage from 70 and then have to switch bodies, especially for certain tracks where I have to be slightly longer and then where they come towards me it's wider. I love that lens.
Yeah. No, it's a nice lens. It just has a lot of distortion, which is completely manageable in Lightroom, but it's crazy how distorted he is. Like I've done like portraits on like a wall, not a brick wall, but like a wall that has some lines in it, and you see like the crazy distortion.
It's funny, I've actually never noticed it, but I also never shoot.
There's a bit of a huge vignette too, but again, it's such it's sharp. I wish it was a bit faster, but it's still
I find it
faster in the sense that it's it would be nice if it was 2.8, but then it would be like $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Well, that's the thing.
I've never tried the 2470. The Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
The 1424, 2470.
I don't like the 1424. Mainly.
Well, it's super wide. Like
it's not that it's super wide. It's that for what I shoot, I need a lens that I can throw on a UV filter. And the 14, it's
super
convex.
Convex. Yeah,
convex. Yeah, I got it right. So I would.
But there must be like you could probably put a step forward. Right?
No, you have a freaking ton of them. I've seen it. It's literally it comes out like that much. Yeah.
But people must put filters on
it. You can put filters usually on the back of them. From what I know.
On the back.
That goes on the back element.
Oh.
If you have to do anything.
But nothing
like
on the front.
No. Yeah, it's like a fisheye. So that's the thing. Shooting motorsports where rocks fly and other stuff fly. I don't want to risk it. Yeah. And that's why I have the 1635 instead, which I actually love because it's sharp, even though it is also f4. But for what I need wide stuff for, it kicks butt.
Yeah, I like the 1635. I had to borrow it at some point, and it was cool. Actually, the banner on our Facebook page, which is not really open yet, but I guess after today we'll open it. We'll do a grand unveiling and throw this on. We're at 19 minutes 45 seconds. I don't know what the camera is gonna do, but we could always just reset it. And if we
because we can even just like cut and then
we could just cut away to the banner like super cheesy like.
We could. No, but I'm saying we can even like just cut and just keep going. Like cut us into like different parts.
Yeah. But that's
the first one.
That's I think when we have another camera to use.
Yeah.
We'll be able to just cut away to that, and I don't even know what I'm going to do to edit this thing. We'll try. I haven't edited in years.
Yeah.
But literally
10
years. What?
Bonne chance.
Bonne chance.
Bonne chance.
Bonne chance.
It's
bonne chance au Québec.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The 2470 is I know it's an amazing lens. But I have the older version, the 28-70-28.
I thought that was
And-
DX, that one.
No, my 1755 is a DX.
Right.
So yeah, I don't feel the need. It's sharp. It's super sharp. It focuses super fast. So for the few millimeters of difference, I mean, I have the 24-120. So whatever.
Yeah, and the other thing I used, I had to retire my Energizer batteries for my flash.
Oh yeah, yes, you wanted to talk about
So
that.
I got Eneloops, and they're really, really great.
I heard they're great.
I'm really impressed. I don't know. I hope from what I understand, they last a while too. But the recycle time is super fast. And the
That's good.
Energizers, like when I bought them brand new, they were
Yeah.
pretty impressive too. But I actually found the 16 AA Eneloops at Costco for $55, which
Wow.
comes to $13 per pack of 4,
Yeah.
and a pack of 4 Eneloops at like B&H even is like $24 American.
That's actually really good.
It's a super good price. I don't know,
Yeah.
So I bought one pack of
Yeah.
16 to try them out, and it's free shipping anyways. So I figured I'll try them out, and if I like them, then I'll buy another.
Yeah.
Because I have to retire my Energizers, I'll start, putting them in.
Yeah, I got to do that. I mean, I
remotes
have
and stuff.
I have a bunch of brand new AA's, but I need to actually go through and get rid of the older ones, or at least put them off to the side to use them for other crap.
Yeah, mice and keyboards. And
yeah.
stuff like that. The light's doing a funky thing.
Yeah, I know, it just sort of.
That's what I was telling you about the build quality of it. It's a cool light, and it's funny talking about the light. Yeah, we're gonna go on a lot of tangents in this show, I think.
We do that a lot. But that's what's gonna be.
Yeah, and we're
Amazing.
not gonna recut it after. But getting back to the light, so we're using a Switchtronics LED little video light right now. Use it for weddings. It works well. The build quality is pretty poor. The battery connectors are kind of poorly designed.
Yeah.
It's 2 little pins that they bend into the body of the light pretty easily if you're not careful. Anyway, then there it goes again.
Yeah.
So
It's self-dimming.
yeah, exactly. So my uncle had a look at it because I'm gonna have him build me a new LED light. My uncle's a bit of a tinkerer with electronics and stuff like that. So
He's an evil genius.
He looked at this one, and the beam is super, super narrow, which is why we like it.
Yeah.
But
Because you can focus on your subjects.
Yeah, and I generally am only lighting a couple in Embrace, so I don't need any huge spread. But the fact, I think this has about probably 12 LEDs of each color.
Yeah.
Whereas ours is the one that he's going to build me is going to have 1 of each color.
Yeah.
And it'll have like the same amount of spread as this thing.
Yeah.
At like a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
And with better LEDs, it'll have Bridge Lux LEDs. And this one has like cheap Chinese
Made in China.
LEDs. So no, it'll be interesting to see. But we'll be able to use, because the one that he's going to build me will have a pretty narrow beam.
Yeah.
He'll have a lens in front of it. We may even make it variable so you can
focus it and
the
stuff.
beam.
That's cool.
But there's also the flood on these like Bridge Lux single LEDs is huge.
Yeah.
It's super, super, super huge. Like compared to this, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to really focus the beam. But having said that, we can use it as floods for the show. Like.
Oh, it's gonna be that'll be perfect.
So yeah. What else did we want to talk about?
Well, for me, I have finally made the switch to Lightroom.
So Jeremy's been using Microsoft Paint for his
ages.
entire photography career.
Yeah, that's not true. My actual setup was...
It's true.
Eat shit. My actual setup was I used to use Adobe Camera Raw, which honestly, it still works the way it's supposed to, but I've been recently having issues with my D750. That for some reason the XMP files, which is what basically gets saved, when you edit, so that way when you go back, it remembers what you've done.
Yep.
Don't save properly. So when I bring files back in, nothing is saved. So I edited about 700 photos from the SCP show that I had to get up for basically for the SCP site and Facebook page. edited them all, closed Camera Raw to then batch resize all the photos with the logos, and none of the edits took place or basically saved. So then I had to go and re-edit all the 700 over again. So I just decided, F that, I'm just going to get Lightroom. So with the help of Chris, I'm learning how to use it.
Yeah, well, I'll show you my workflow.
Hashiroko after?
Motibodo.
That was close.
Which is an amazing tool. But
Hayukin.
But not even getting that, that far into it. I just wanted to know why aren't you, when you're done your edits, you're not exporting right away? Like you're batching from the raw file?
Yeah, because basically,
But it opens as a smart object, or what's it doing? Like,
no, basically just with...
Because I've never used, I use Lightroom, and I usually export, and then I finish off
with Adobe. with Adobe Camera Raw, you basically do all your edits. You click done, so it saves your settings, and then when I create
a JPEG at that point.
Nope. Yeah, it keeps it as a raw, and then basically I will choose when I do my Photoshop action. I choose the folder itself, and it takes those raw files, and it'll work off the raw.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I save it as a JPEG, but so I don't have to, and it's very quick, as long as it does what it's supposed to do. Yeah. But that's the thing. So
now you'll have to reverse your process pretty much. You'll have to do your.
Well, I think there's still ways of me doing it the same way. I just need to learn how.
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
Because I know that Lightroom makes the XMP files also.
It does. Yeah.
So I can, as long as I know how to make sure that they save properly, then yeah.
Yeah, I'll have. Well, you'll have to show me what you do in.
Yeah, I'll show it you after. Because I mean, again, obviously my version of Photoshop was less than legit, so that was the issue. Yeah, you give me those. I don't care. I live life dangerously. So that's it, and that was the issue. Is that when I did the update, it might have not worked properly because of my Photoshop version not being.
It was not legit. It was buggy.
It was buggy, so. It was very buggy. So,
which I guess they do so that you do upgrade eventually.
And again, it's an old copy of Photoshop that I have, and I do plan on buying most likely a new camera this year. So I figured, screw it, I'm gonna probably need it because most likely I know the old version of Camera Raw that I have won't be updatable. Yeah. So I might as well just pull a plug. I mean, and again, it's nice to have. I mean, it sort of sucks that you have to pay per month technically, but it is also nice that it's going to be reliable and updatable all the time. So
they just ran an update yesterday, which is probably for Well, I know they've already supported the D5 and D500
before they even came out.
Yeah,
that was nice.
So, it's pretty quick, and they add a whole bunch of features all the time.
Yeah. So yeah.
For $100 a year,
exactly,
to have Photoshop and Lightroom. What was it before? It's $150 for Lightroom. It was Lightroom 5.7, and then Photoshop is $1,300 or something like that. So, or whatever. But
unless you have school discounts. And I have to just learn. I mean, honestly, I actually like it. My first. What's funny is that I was always told that Lightroom was slow, and I had downloaded a copy of it a long time ago, and I found it slow. But no, it works. It works great.
Well, it's fast now, and it's a matter of
that's the thing.
how you work with it too. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will make one catalog called General Catalog, and then they'll put 3 years of work in it.
Yeah, that's actually what I got to start managing.
That slows down like crazy. Yeah. So. In my case, I work for a post-production company. And so I go through many images. Yeah. And so I basically make a month, a catalog for every month.
Yeah.
And then import.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm going to.
But that's only That's even only when I'm doing raw files.
Yeah.
Most of our clients send catalogs with smart previews.
Mm-hmm.
That's
really cool.
In that case, I don't even have to have a catalog. Yeah. But in your case, you're probably better off doing it per project.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably do it per month.
Or you could do it per month and have your, there. But it depends on how you want to back your stuff up too. Yeah. And anyways.
Yeah, that we can go over at some point.
But
yeah, I like it so far, and I like the some of the features that, or some of the ways that Lightroom edits compared to Camera Raw, or even though it's the same function technically. I actually do see a difference with how my photos look. So one person actually even commented, "Oh, did you get a new camera because your photos look different?"
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and damn it.
Take two. Sorry, we just had to change the. I don't even know if we're gonna put the video.
Probably
we
not.
just had to re-record and resync.
I just tap my mic. Yeah, it's funny actually. Somebody commented saying, "Oh, did you get a new camera? Because
the
photos look different."
Yeah.
And,
How much are you running the sliders though in Lightroom? Very much, or
Yeah.
yeah.
I adjust everything the same as I do in Camera Raw. So it's exposure.
Because I saw one of the photos you post. Well, the photo you posted of your screen, and it just had like highlights at -100, and I'm like, you're doing it wrong.
No, actually, I don't think it was that bad. But
no, it wasn't.
But
yeah, it was that one. Maybe you were just messing around, and it was just funny. I was like,
well, because actually, usually what I do if I'm doing a lot of photos, I click auto and then I tweak from there.
okay.
So whatever it does, it'll give me a baseline, and then I can make it look not horrible. But at least I can sort of see what works and what doesn't, and then I can go up. Depends on the image.
Do you shoot auto white balance?
Yes.
At yeah, maybe you should change.
Well,
maybe you should like dial in a Kelvin then, because then you don't have to do all the.
Problem is that
because I shoot auto white balance too all the time, and
for me it's actually what's funny is that I don't actually always shoot auto white balance. I often will set it to whatever.
Yeah.
But for that, for shooting SCP, since it was indoors where the lighting was changing no matter where I was going, because some lights were brighter, so the Kelvin wouldn't have stayed the same.
Okay.
And again, I was inside and outside all the time.
Okay. Yeah, but something like the drags, you could probably just dial it in and you won't have to worry about it.
Sadly not, because
of the headlights, I guess.
Headlights, daylight, going to dusk, the lights at the track are uber green, like crazy green.
What are you white balancing? What are you correcting for then when you're doing, say, drag races? Like, where's your white point? Like, not.
I basically try to get the
headlights consistent.
No, actually, it's the ground.
Or obviously
asphalt is pretty much neutral grayish.
Right.
So I try to make that 18%. So if I have to, I drop it right on that, and that will give me basically spot on.
Close to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great card wherever I go.
True. For true.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know what else we wanted to.
Actually, I still need to download Photoshop CC. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, you didn't?
Haven't had time yet to do it. And I need to install it on my laptop also.
Yeah, I think you could install it on 2.
Yeah, you're allowed on 2, which I made sure, because if not, I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Well, because that would have sucked, and that would have been like $200-something every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially my laptop, which I don't use all that often. I use it for maybe a few events here and there.
Yeah. Well, that's where smart previews could be interesting for you for you, you're usually editing at your machine, so you never have to be mobile with your.
No, like
it'd be fun to put. You
can
put the smart previews on your laptop.
Yeah.
And then edit from there, and then dump the catalog back into your iMac when you get back.
Yeah.
But. Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it so far. And yeah, actually for a lot of things, exporting it works super well, because that was one thing that Camera Raw didn't do so well, was the exporting, because you make the save and it was super slow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's super slow to save.
Yeah, I mean, Lightroom could probably take a couple hours for maybe 500 to 700 photos, or maybe an hour. I don't know. I always do it and leave.
Yeah,
I'll set it.
I was actually impressed on how quick it was when I had to save. Actually, had to export like 200 something photos from the last drag event that I shot, and it saved it like impressively fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm actually quite happy with my purchase.
Cool. Awesome. Welcome to
the
Adobe
Creative
Cloud.
It was funny because it was my sort of cool factor that I don't use Lightroom, but whatever.
Well, it's a lot faster.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to check out Modibotto, it's pretty.
Hashiroku.
It's pretty sweet.
Oh, and I actually new gear that I bought, useless freaking gear that I bought. I bought a Steadicam Merlin 2. I don't shoot video. But I always liked to shoot video.
Sucker for a sale.
I'm a sucker for a sale. I've always liked to shoot video though, like even back in the day. That's actually sort of how I got into photography. was by shooting, filming my buddy skateboarding and car stuff. But yeah, my friend Kevin sent me a link to a B&H sale, which is basically the Merlin.
Was Kevin who sent you this?
Yeah. No, but the Kevin from Quebec, Saint Pierre, aka KSP Productions. Yeah. Anyways, basically these things go for $5.99 US, and they were having a sale for, I believe it was $350, $250, whatever. But if you bought it within it was like a half hour, or whatever, you got a $100 mailing rebate. So I basically got this for $150. And I figured, oh yay, it's gonna be awesome. I'm just gonna throw my camera on, then I can, shoot my dog, run around and stuff, and get some
dog.
shoot my dog and get some stable footage. But turns out that I have no idea what to do, and to get a balance, I got it balanced perfectly without a camera on it. But yeah, putting a camera on it, and it's no bueno. So it's just a matter of learning what to do. But
I'm sure there's 1,000 YouTube videos on.
Yeah, they're not that. I've looked at a ton of them, and it's like, oh, you just do this, and it's like I did it, and it still falls over. Weird. But anyways, it's just a matter of me learning it, and the fact also that I'm using an extra quick release plate on top of it may affect obviously a bit of the weight distribution.
Probably. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a matter of tweaking to get it to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's neat, and if I ever get it working properly, I'll probably use it for ShutterCount for behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do with this show. We have some ideas. It'll be,
I think it'd be a fun long-term project, to
we're gonna try and
stuff,
update it, and
do
something every week, and maybe some other things will go.
I think weekly, or worst case bi-weekly, I think is very doable.
Yeah, and
there's tons of cool stuff we can find. And again, there's a ton of podcasts out there. So many, but we're just doing this because it's fun.
For the fun of it.
And if we have a few listeners, well, then so be it. It doesn't cost you anything to listen to this shit, so just do
it. Just listen. Yeah, and I mean, we both edit all day, so, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, I nap a lot.
And Jeremy naps all day. And, I figured I have the gear, and it's, nowadays it's so freaking cheap to...
It's crazy.
Do anything,
Sadly.
And now you can do aerial photography for like $500 nowadays.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And get arrested, but whatever.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other story. But, it's crazy. I mean, technology is getting really cheap, and, people can do whatever they want for really cheap.
People can take your job if they go to Future Shop.
That's when you got to be better.
Yes.
Better than everyone else.
The issue comes to
try and be better.
Yeah, try to be better, and find clients that actually want to pay for the better quality.
Well, that's a whole other. That's
another thing we'll be talking about in these podcasts is business, and dealing with business in the Quebecs.
In the
Quebec regions compared to other regions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting place we live, but I mean, there's a lot of work to go around. But yeah, you kind of just gotta roll with the punches, so to speak.
Yeah, it's all about being persistent.
Yeah,
and working your behind off.
Yeah. So when are you buying your D500?
Probably only middle of the season. I'm gonna wait for people to abuse it, and then I'll probably purchase it. Besides the fact that I am getting married this year, that I have no money, and I have a truck that I'm trying to truck project that I want to finish building, or at least get it running properly. Mm-hmm. It's actually at the shop right now, and I'm at AV Fabrication, which I will maybe get my truck back within a few years, because that's how fast they work. You hear that, Ardo?
This show brought to you by AV Fabrication.
There you go. Plug, and I'll get my shit.
Fabrication for your AV.
Audiovisual fabrication.
Ask him if he wants me to do a commercial for him.
Actually,
AV Fabrication.
So yeah, a D500. I mean, so far looking great.
Yeah, I saw
the Fro did a ISO test, which was freaking impressive.
Yeah, 6400 was really pretty nice.
Which, I mean, for most of what I shoot, I'm never that high anyways.
Yeah, I wish you would have I saw the video, and I wish I saw his edit of it, and I wish you would have shown his noise reduction settings.
He doesn't do any.
I saw some though.
Did you? Well,
You see it snap in. So when he's working on it and he goes to the next image, you see it before.
So are you calling Fro a liar?
I don't know. He didn't. Does he never use?
He says he never does. So
no? Okay. Yeah.
Unless, but I know there's.
And that's fucking impressive.
I know Lightroom I think does its own sort of like. Isn't there no preset for it?
Only if you set it, but
okay. Anyways, whatever.
It's usually at 0. So
yeah.
But I saw something kind of snap in, and because usually the noise reduction sharpening snaps in at the end, and but no, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like the noise is super fine.
Yeah.
Really, really fine.
And that's what I find funny is that I find in terms of, at least for the automotive community photographers, they're all I don't know how to put it, sort of like fanboys of full frame. And a lot of them don't realize that it's really has nothing to do with full frame. It has to do with how you shoot. Like if you suck at getting your exposure properly, a full frame will be able to save it. But if you suck, you suck. Whereas, like, I mean, that's actually why I have an Olympus OMD EM5, the MK1 version, so basically the first one, and that's a 2-time crop sensor. And I can shoot, in all the low light situations that I would with my full frame body and get very similar results. And I have all the, the little photo kids like, oh, well, do you have a full frame, or or think that's 2-time crop and that it's gonna suck. It's no. If you expose properly and if you know what you're doing, your images are gonna be fine.
So they're like, their argument is that with the full frame they have a little bit more latitude in the.
No, they think full frame is just better quality, versus using it for what it's in terms of, I don't know. And again, back in the day, 100% full frame. Like if you compare, like let's say, D70, let's say crop sensor to a D700 full frame. Obviously, there's a huge difference for the full frame versus the crop sensor, even D200, whatever, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But now with technology,
it's gotten crazy. Like
it's gotten crazy, yeah. And I mean, I think the biggest argument for full frame going forward, like from like now with all the new crop sensors, is mainly going to be, obviously your depth of field is going to be better with a full frame. Yeah. Bigger sensor, you're going to get a more fall off, which is going to look prettier if you're into that stuff. And then the whole native lens thing versus not having to have a DX lens to get super wide.
Well, I think eventually, I mean, they're going to stop making just specific DX.
Yes, actually, you're right because especially you figure it's true though, because I have a 1635, which is a FX lens, and that'll work perfectly on a DX body. Yeah.
So eventually, they'll have to.
So, anyways, I mean, again, that's just my little argument because I have three full frame bodies and I love them, but I also have a D300 and my Olympus, which are crop sensors. Man, I have no problem shooting with them. I can shoot at almost everything. And obviously, if I'm going to go into a super low light situation, I'll take the full frame. Yeah. But it's they're just tools.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, if you don't know how to work with light, and find the right light.
Yeah.
But one thing that I always, there's good light obviously, and there's bad light.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
Can't find the good light anyways.
Exactly. Bad light is bad light.
Having said that, though, these cameras are getting so good.
Yeah.
That you can have good light that's very, very, very dim.
Yeah.
And it's going to pick it up.
Yeah.
So it's still super, I wouldn't say super important because in most situations like my D4, I don't see a situation now where I'd need better ISO.
Yeah, exactly.
High ISO performance.
Yeah.
But there are situations
where it's definitely
that I've been able to get really cool shots with very, very low light at 6400 ISO. I get a clean image. But I would have never been able to get that with, say, the D700 or anything before that, obviously. But
that's technology.
There's certain situations where you'll have super low light, but it's still nice light.
Yeah.
So,
it's just that it's just not that bright. Yeah. But then again, going back to the D500 now with the technology of it, because basically I was looking at picking up a used D4S. But the fact that the 500 is, for one, going to be brand new, has all the new bells and whistles like the focusing and all this other stuff of the D5, shoots 10 frames a second. Again, I'm mainly picking the D500 up as my motorsports camera, and that's why where the DX comes in handy because of the
reach.
The little extra the crop factor.
Yeah.
Where I can basically have either my D3 or my D750 with a wide, and then have my 7200 with on the D500. It's beneficial, and again, like the fact that the high ISO is actually going to be comparable to the D750, and most likely just as good as the D4s. So just because it's technology, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the D4 is 2012. I think?
Yeah, which is freaking, like you said,
it's already 4 years.
And like the D4s, it's more than enough, right?
Yeah.
So
plenty. Yeah.
Like at some point, like, do you really need to see into the dark?
Well, like I said, except for the odd situation that you have really nice light that's very, very dim.
Yeah.
But that's like you're talking about like 10%.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like at we're getting to a point where I think the whole difference between crop and full frame sensor is very it's not as big as it used to be.
Yeah, well, the D300, you used to be pretty much maxed out at 1600 ISO, I think.
Yeah.
And at that, it was pretty noisy.
Yeah. But besides that, but anything lower, it's perfect, Yeah. It's just when you got up higher. But then again, you compare a D7 file, which is amazing, pretty high, but you compare that to any new, even hell, a newer crop sensor, it's going to be similar. Yeah. Good old technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Gear.
And that's the other thing too, is that like I can get a brand new D500 for cheaper than I can get a used D4S. And
well, it's gonna come down in price. I mean, now I'm seeing D4s used at like $3,000 now.
Yeah, but again, I'm get a camera under warranty.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's gonna easily fall under my NPS, which is Nikon Professional Service for anybody who doesn't know. And again, full warranty, and it'll be a brand new camera, which will last me then longer. Because basically, most of my cameras that I have, actually not necessarily when I'm thinking about it, except for the D3. I did buy brand new, but they're all getting old. Like my D300, I've already been through one shutter. My D700, it's about to. I know I'm past the whatever time frame.
Shutter life expectancy.
The shutter count.
Shutter count.
Hi-yo. Of it, anyways. And
I
then
don't even think we said that this show is called ShutterCount.
We maybe vaguely did. We're not very good at this.
We're gonna have to iron out our introductions
at some point. Anyway, so all my cameras are getting pretty old, except from obviously the D750, which I got last year, and had tons of issues with.
Everyone did.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great camera, but it's not built to take the abuse. So I mean, it's sort of okay, but the fact that I already blew a shutter on it, within half a year of shooting, which according to Nikon Canada I broke. But anyways, F you Nikon. No, I think the D500 is gonna be a winner. Because especially with today's technology, if it's gonna be probably, like they said, it's a flagship camera.
So it looks pretty solid. Yeah.
And again, it's a crop body, but that's basically looks like and feels like a full frame in terms of the viewfinder. You have, I think, 100% view on it.
I think they're all gonna have 100%.
Well, I don't think the 750 does.
Pretty sure it does.
But it has a little tiny ass little.
The focus.
That's what I meant. But like the big, the big viewfinder.
Yeah.
Like it has.
Oh, the square viewfinder.
Yeah, versus the big one.
Okay, it's gonna have the big,
the big glass one.
Cool.
So I'm gonna wait. Probably gonna pick it up midsummer when I can hopefully have a bit more loose change.
Yeah.
Because and I might pick it up sooner if my G700 fails. Obviously I can get the shutter fixed, but I mean whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to get the shutter replaced on one of my D4s because I'm getting pretty high up there. I bought it with a lot, so
your first one.
I'm already over. I'm at 420,000 actuations now.
Yeah,
and I bought it, quite high too. So, but so I don't know. Should we wrap this up?
I guess we could. I don't know. What are your plans for this week?
50 minutes. So, this weekend I'm not shooting, so I have nothing.
Well, there you go.
Just gonna spend some time with family and chill out. It's
Nice.
Friday, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Friday.
Friday the 29th of April,
Yeah.
2016.
ShutterCount
I've,
episode 1.
ShutterCount episode 1. No, so I'm just gonna edit.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, my season really starts getting going in August, so
Yeah, that's good.
just gonna kind of, I mean, I have, maybe
Plenty
pick
of
up
stuff to
a
do.
couple, contracts here and there.
Yeah.
I have some personal work I need to do and work on too.
Giggity.
So, yep. What are you up to this week?
Well, this Wednesday, obviously, my weekly gig is usually Mondays. I shoot the Auto Aesthetic exclusive Mondays meet. They haven't started yet, but they're starting probably pretty soon, and that's what I usually do. Tuesdays, it's touch and go between either shooting at different racetracks, this and that. Wednesdays, I'm always at the Autodrome Saint Eustache, where I shoot their street drags presented by Perry Auto and Competition. And then
This episode sponsored by.
And then Thursdays, I'm sometimes at iCar for their drags. Because I shoot for MontrealRacing.com, and our contract with them with iCar hasn't necessarily started yet. And then Fridays usually depends. I might be back at the Autodrome for their muscle car drags. If not, I usually try not to do anything and just relax. But if not, there's also muscle car meets that happen, so I shoot that. And then weekends is usually my big time, where I either have events during the day, and then often I'll be at iCar that night for their drags if I'm not there that Thursday. And then same thing on the Sunday, usually at some sort of event. But yeah, nothing has really, besides the drags at the Autodrome, I haven't been really doing much yet because the season really hasn't started. But
People are just starting to take their cars out now.
Yeah, exactly.
I see the crazy people burning up and down the street already. But
Yeah.
it's only been recent that the Civics are out.
Yeah. Well, soon hopefully my truck will be finished soon. But yeah, but this week I have one photo shoot almost booked. I started shooting for a new website called procarmods.com, which is a high-end automotive resource site. So basically, for anybody who wants to modify their BMW, Mercedes, what have you, and for guys who are not necessarily into tuning, but they want to fancy up their vehicle and don't know where to start, they can go to this website and see what other people have done, and then see where they can purchase the pieces and what works on their car. Anyways, so I have a photo shoot for them this coming weekend. Don't know what car, don't know where, but should be good.
Surprise!
Yeah,
It's a Ferrari.
and I also was. Actually, I also work for the Autodrome Saint Eustache. I'm in charge of their website in terms of keeping it up to date. So I've been busy adding every single date that they have in their schedule,
Fun.
which is every single day because, they have a lot of stuff, which is actually really cool to see. But since I got to do it one by one, it's sort of long. Mm-hmm. And then, actually yesterday I got booked to shoot 2 cars in Ottawa for Super Street Magazine.
Oh, yeah?
I've shot for them a long time ago, but I haven't recently. So it'll be cool to grace the pages of that magazine again.
Cool.
And so I got to book that this week. And that's,
What are you up to later today?
later I'm going to Overdosed Performance, where we are basically shooting the install of a coilover setup by HSD. Basically,
This episode sponsored by
HSD. Basically, I don't know all the details, but it's like it's a new suspension that just came out, and I believe they're going to be Overdose is going to be the first ones in Canada, I believe, installing it at AV Fabrication. So basically, I'm just there to shoot the install, from start to finish of it going on. And while I'm there, I'm going to check out on my damn truck and see if it's actually getting worked on. Because
Cool. Awesome.
can't wait to get my truck done.
All right. Well, we're at 55 minutes, so let's wrap it up. So where can people find you online?
We should.
The internet.
On the interwebs, my website, jagimaging.com, Facebook, Jag Imaging,
All your preferred media outlets. social
Instagram,
media
jag_imaging, possibly. I'm on the Twitter.
outlets. Instagram's gotten pretty good at searches, I've noticed.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
like
can-
I like Instagram.
You could type up pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Because I think like when it started, you used to really have to be precise
Yeah.
with what you were searching for, and then
I like Instagram. Honestly, I like Instagram more than I like Facebook. Because people are less douchey on Instagram.
you know what the problem with Facebook now is that it's just nonsense. Now.
And their algorithms are bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other story.
Hey, if you want people to see your stuff, pay. And it's
yeah,
like,
but the fact that like it's just all like reposts of like
yeah, everybody reposts everything.
You know what? I go on Facebook now. I follow this Tasty.
Okay.
They do like 30-second,
Sounds naughty.
super fast.
Oh
it's a
yeah.
cooking show.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like shot
Yeah.
from above.
Yeah, I've seen
and
tons of
they
those.
just
Yeah.
fast forward the whole process.
Yeah.
And it's and you don't even have to listen to the audio
Yeah.
because they have all the ingredients.
Yeah.
They kind of pop up.
That's cool.
The text, and it's like that's the most interesting thing that pops
Yeah.
up in my news. I mean, obviously, except for family from
Yeah, I
out
know.
of town that I want to keep in touch with and stuff like that. But
Yeah, no, Facebook
besides
is
that,
trash
it's
now.
just garbage.
You need to bring back MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace for sure. But Instagram's still. I'm still, some of the ads are still annoying. They're starting to creep up now
Yeah.
with the ads, but I still enjoy it.
But at least I just find it's easier just to like, scroll through and
Yeah. Cool. You could find me online, Instagram at Chris Flint Photo, Facebook, Christopher Flint Photographer.
I think.
Yeah, you could pretty much just Google it. I mean, people just Google it.
Yeah, just Google.
And it's ShutterCount. We don't have a website yet. We are gonna work on that. I think it'll just be a splash page that brings us to either our Facebook or the
Should even do.
YouTube
I wonder if we can do
channel.
back end on one of our sites or something.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Just easy.
But we do have shuttercount.ca.
Yeah.
Is our website. Probably nothing on it. Well, there's literally nothing on it right now because there's not even a website. So you probably get to like a, I don't even know.
Blank abyss.
Yeah, you get into internet purgatory. This will be a weekly show, talking about stuff.
Stuff. I like. Stuff is always good.
And this is our first show, so I don't know how much
It's
I'm
gonna be
count
horrible.
out.
Yeah.
I might just put the whole thing on.
We
I
could
don't
though.
know.
In like a few different parts.
Yeah, because we were hoping to have it under 30 minutes. I'm sure the camera's now off
It's
again.
definitely off.
So we'll just have like a banner now every time the camera goes.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, at some point we'll get in terms of not a schedule, but like a set talk list. What to do.
Now it's just kind of shooting the shit.
Yeah,
And,
which is fine.
Yeah, which is what we wanted to do anyways.
Yeah.
I hope the levels are okay. I might be really low. I'm not sure. And so I think that's all for now. Jeremy's gonna try and do another sound. It kind of picks up a bit. We'll see. But yeah. Whatever that is. All right, so thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you are watching us on something.
I hate you all so much!
Ridiculous. All right, so subscribe, I guess. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we'll figure it out.
We're
We're probably gonna
click the subscribe button that doesn't exist.
yeah, we're probably gonna do a few shows before we put anything online, anyways.
Yeah, we have to do that.
But yeah, so check us out. Thanks for listening. Thank you to our listener.
Thank you.
And,
Take care, comb your hair.
we are out.